Welcome to my PowerPoint on Dynamo in Deadlock. So Dynamo is the second tankiest character in the game. He has tied for the second highest starting base health at 800, and he has the second highest increase in health per boon at 59. Additionally, he actually is one of the few characters that gets bullet res by leveling up. He gets 0.625 bullet res per level, and none starting at level 1. Dynamo is not a good character early game, like, at all. His stats are pretty mediocre. Yes, he has a lot of health, but his gun is quite bad, all things considered. It does do 11.7 damage plus 0.4 per bullet, but you're not firing very many bullets, 3.81 per second. Your ammo count is very low, and he has, pretty moderate stats for the rest of him, right? So he doesn't have just like enough raw stats to throw at people. He's not like a Yamato, right, where you have like your really powerful alt fire, or a Viscous where your stats are just really high. You can kind of just throw them at people. So maybe his abilities are what makes Dynamo better in the early game, right? No. So Kinetic Pulse is not a bad ability by any means. However, it's on Dynamo, so it's your only damaging ability really at all. Even your ult barely does any damage. So Kinetic Pulse is kind of your damage. It's your wave clear. It's your crowd control. It pays your taxes. It does everything. It kind of just does everything for your kit, and that's not good on a lot of the time. I've talked about a lot of characters in this series, and usually when I say this is the character's entire kit, that character is not very good, is kind of the thing. I was talking about, say, Rend for Drifter, right? Rend is kind of Drifter's entire kit, because the rest of his abilities are not very good. Yeah, his ultimate's pretty strong, but like Stalker's Mark and whatever, they're just not very good, right? Like, they only have one damaging ability, one ability that gives them any way to impact lane or to interact with enemies, and it's Kinetic Pulse for Dynamo. Now, that being said, Kinetic Pulse isn't a bad ability. It does 90 times 1.67 spirit power damage. I forgot to put spirit power, whatever. So it scales very, very well. There's a very high power or scaling ability, and as we'll talk about, it's going to a charge ability, and it gets more damage. Especially, we'll look at the rank 3 early. It gets plus 115 bonus damage on the rank 3, so it's going to be dealing 205 flat times 1.67 at max rank. That's really strong, but that's it, is the thing. If Dynamo had like anything else in his base kit, not including the ultimate, because obviously, Singularity is a good ultimate, but still, if Dynamo had anything else in his base kit, then Kinetic Pulse would be a much more threatening ability because of the fact that it's so strong on paper. But yeah, anyway, it has a 15 times 0.256 spirit power meter range, so it gets bigger the more spirit power you have, which is really interesting. It has a 5 meter radius, it has a 1 second knockup duration, and it has a 26 second cooldown, which is not the longest, but it's still not the shortest. At rank 1, on hit, they get slowed by 35% and have their fire rate reduced by 35%, which makes it so that Dynamo is pretty good at taking fights if you are able to hit this once you get the rank 1 upgrade, because of the fact that you're going to be lowering their fire rate by a lot. If you're playing against ability-based characters, well, that doesn't do anything. But if you're playing against gun-based characters, you do get a little bit of... you are going to be able to make it so that you can come out on top on trays with Kinetic Pulse. They rank 2 on hit, they take plus 30% bullet damage for 8 seconds. Again, very powerful when you're combining it with other characters now. Dynamo is, of course, a support, right? Yes, Dynamo is quite tanky, but you're still really just a beefy, Vanguard-ish kind of support, right? You're trying to sustain your team. You're trying to keep your team alive. You have ways to buff your team, and that's fine, right? I'm not saying these are bad, but Dynamo's, when you are alone on Dynamo, you're just not a character, is the thing. Because all of these things are better at helping teammates, and that's a little different than, say, Paige or Doorman, who can do things on their own. They are strong enough to fight people on their own. Dynamo really can't. And, I'm not saying that this is bad, or, Kinetic Pulse is bad ability, but the trade-off of having such a powerful, level 2 and ability when you're with someone else is that, guys, don't fight. Don't 1v1 someone as Dynamo, bro. Please don't. It rarely ever works. That being said, though, if you do have, a Haze or a Wraith or a I was gonna say a Billy, but I mean Billy's not the greatest early in lane. Still, if you do have like a big gun character like a Viper or an Ivy, you know, these characters that do so much gun damage in lane, then Kinetic Pulse really does, like I said, it really does provide a lot of damage. And then, of course, the rank 5, like I talked about, plus 115 damage, plus 1 charge. So that makes it have 2 charges. It is a charge ability at base, so you can buy extra charge, you can buy rapid recharge, which you should. And then Kinetic Pulse just does a lot of really good damage. It's really good wave clear. I believe once you get like a few spirit power items, it'll start one-shotting level 1 camps. It does a lot of damage. It's just, like I said, this is your only damage ability, and while it doesn't have the longest duration between the pulses, it still does have a duration between the pulses because it is a charge ability. It's not like Grey Talon where, yeah, you can use all of your, you know, your arrows as fast as possible. This still has, like, I think it's 2 seconds once you get rapid recharge, so 4 seconds base to between the stomps, between, you know, the kinetic pulses, that you basically don't do anything. And that's, you know, again, it's a little clunky, and, you know, Dynamo, very clunky character, all things considered. Quantum Entanglement. So Quantum Entanglement, of course, you briefly become untargetable and teleport to the target location. On reappearing, gain bonus fire rate and reload your weapon. Alternate cast, which is by default middle mouse. Bring nearby allies, reloading their weapons and granting them half your bonus fire rate. So I'm going to talk about this first. You actually do want to sometimes not take your allies when you're using Quantum Entanglement. You might think, why would I ever not do it, right? I'm reloading their gun and giving them, you know, half my fire rate. Well, it's taking them out of the fight for 1.4 seconds. If you're like, I mean, so that's a long time. That's a long time to be out of the fight because you are picking them up and teleporting them. They become untargetable. So if, you know, you're doing that, you could genuinely grief a fight just by doing it. That being said, it is a long time to be out of a fight, so you do want to use this to get your allies out of, like, ultimates like Infernus, Lash, Grey Talon, what else? Abrams, Haze. There's so many powerful ultimates you can get out of it. So many abilities you can get out of it. You can get out of, like, a Lash Slam. You can get out of literally anything with it. So, like, the value of this ability really does scale with how good you are, how good your positioning is, how good your teammate positioning is, and how good your communication is with your teammates. If your teammates are just bad and they don't come towards you when you have this ability off cooldown, or, you know, you aren't communicating with them then the ability basically does nothing. It's just a really kind of mediocre dash, right? But if you are able to use it, because again, it does work on every teammate. It's like a 10-meter radius, I think, around you will pick up every teammate. You can dodge giant key ultimates just because of the fact that it makes you invulnerable, or, you know, any key ability, right? Yeah, so it gives plus 30% bonus fire rate. It has a 9-meter range, 16-second cooldown, not very long, like I said, and then it has a 1.4 second duration. At rank 1, you get plus 4 meters of cast range. It's, I mean, yeah, it's decent. It helps you get your teammates out, but it's not really the greatest. You're not going to be putting that many points into this ability throughout the game. Probably most ways you're playing Dynamo, even like even ones I'm not talking about today, most of the time you're not going to max out this ability. At rank 2, you get plus 25% fire rate bonus, so it goes up to 55%, which is okay. I think that's the second largest attack speed steroid in the entire game, right behind the rank 3 of Sinclair clone, which gives 60%. So play gun Dynamo. Don't do that. And then rank 3, minus 5 seconds of cooldown, and on buff plus 120% maximum ammo. This is not really anything. I mean, yeah, like, if you get high enough levels to have all of your abilities maxed out, this is nice. But like I said, you're really never going to get this in a real game, and you are playing a support character, so you shouldn't have the most souls on your team, you shouldn't have the most levels on your team, so yeah, a lot of the time I literally won't even have this in the game before you win. I mean, like, getting extra maximum ammo is like a placebo, I have to be honest with you. It just doesn't really matter, especially because you're reloading their gun, and unless you're playing, like, I mean, what character is going to blow through their ammo so fast that, like, they would need this extra? I can't think of anything like that. All things considered, this is, like, a really powerful just 1 point ability, and then you get to put the points in your rest of your abilities. I think that's kind of the idea here, right? Is that the rest of Dynamo's abilities, each point is pretty good, right? So having like this ability where just at base, it's pretty strong, you don't really need to worry about the level ups. All things considered, I think Quantum Entanglement, pretty strong ability. Rejuvenating Aurora. This ability makes it so while channeling, restore health over time to you and any allies nearby. You can dash and melee without breaking the channel. Basically what that means is you can't shoot or use abilities during it. Yeah, so you restore 25 times 0.1 or 0.4 spirit power per second health restored over a 5-second duration. So it's 125 at base. It has 8-meter radius and has a 45-second cooldown. Very long cooldown. Typically, if you're playing a lane with Dynamo and you are, taking a lot of damage, this is still nice to help you sustain you and your teammate. But the big thing is that if you are using this, you want to cycle it with your Healing Right ability. Or ability cooldown, sorry. Healing Right, I think it has a 70-second cooldown at base, it's 70-second cooldown. So you want to be using these off cycle to try and make sure that you're getting the most out of your healing, rather than using them both at the same time. You're not really going to get all your full value from your healing. This ability does heal a lot, right? It heals 250 across your 2 characters at rank 1, and that's not, it's not low, but it's not that much, especially because it's a 45-second cooldown. That's a long cooldown for an ability like this. At rank 1, you gain plus 4 meters per second bonus move speed for 8 seconds if Aurora is fully channeled. Gain instantly with the 5 AP upgrade. I know it's worded weird, but basically just means that after you complete the Aurora, you'll get movement speed, but when you get the rank 3, the 5 point, it'll be during the Aura that you'll get that movement speed for the 8 seconds, and then 3 seconds after, because that's a 5-second duration. The rank 2 upgrade is minus 14 seconds of cooldown. This is, pretty huge, getting the lower cooldown. It's not like you're going to be able to sustain in lane, because you're always going to be maxing Stomp if you're playing most Dynamo builds, so it's not that much, but when you have this maxed out, it really lets you be able to keep anyone around you topped up. I always press this ability on cooldown so people don't have to go back and heal as much, so it lets you keep your team out on the map for longer. You're gonna have a good amount of spirit power by the time you're gonna get this anyway, so to heal more than the 25 base, you'll probably have an improved spirit, or just enough purple items that will increase your spirit power in general. So heal a decent amount, and come on, cooldown reduction is a really powerful thing. They put it in abilities for a reason, right? And then the rank 3, full move and ability use, and additionally heals plus 2.5% max health per second. I didn't write that, that's just what it says. I used and twice. Basically all this means is you can actually use your abilities while doing it, and it heals a lot more. It'll heal a substantial amount more even. If I had to say one way to make it so that Dynamo's kit is less clunky, you just make it so that Rejuvenating Aura doesn't make you unable to cast abilities and shoot in the first place. I don't know if that's a hot take, but if you've played Dynamo, I've been playing a lot of Dynamo actually. He's actually a really fun character to play, but he's just so clunky because of the way that his kit just holds himself back. It literally holds he holds himself back because of his kit. It's so weird. It's such a weird way to design a character. And would this even be that strong if he could do anything? McGinnis has an AoE heal and can still shoot and place turrets and do everything you want during that heal. And I don't think Dynamo would be broken if you can move and shoot during your own heal. I don't know if that's just me. Maybe hot take. I don't know. The way that I've been playing the game, and whenever I see a Dynamo in my game, whenever they press that ability, they usually either run away and hide for the full duration, or take more damage than they would have healed from the ability because they didn't run away and hide. Yeah. One thing you can do with this is if you are trying to play a more pure support, kind of style Dynamo, it does become really good at applying healing tempo to your entire team. And well, that's really it. Healing tempo is a pretty strong item, but I don't know. Come on, the ability, it heals a decent amount once you get to the rank 3, but between the mid game before you get that rank 3 upgrade, it's kind of just a mediocre ability. It doesn't heal that much, and you're basically just using it on cooldown to top people off as anywhere they are around you, right? Maybe you can use it like right before a bridge fight or right before taking like a Sinners or whatever, but that's about it. And then last but not least, not in the slightest, we have Singularity. In theory, Singularity is the strongest ultimate in the game. Create a Singularity in your hand, dealing spirit damage over time, applying a stun, and pulling in nearby enemies. A 7-meter radius. It is a 2.7 second or 7.5 second duration, so it's 2.75 second of stun. It has a 230 second cooldown, and then it does 40 damage times 0.195 spirit power and 1.5 max HP damage per second. It does no damage at all. This ability practically doesn't deal damage. I mean, that's fine, right? Like I said, in theory, this is a really strong ultimate. If you're able to hit their entire team with it, it's a giant AoE stun that pulls them in for your other teammates' abilities to set up. In practice, that doesn't happen, though. You'll maybe get a couple of, like, solid ultimates throughout a game, but if you're playing against, like, people that don't suck, they run away from you and they just shoot you as you try to run, as you waddle towards them with your really slow base movement speed. You have to buy Warp Stone and Greater Expansion basically at all if you want to get any value out of this ultimate. The rank 1 upgrade gives it plus 2 meters of Singularity radius, which is good, of course. Like I said, you want to get a bigger radius on your ult so you're able to hit more people. The rank 2, 0.75 second additional channel time. Again, really solid, makes so that your ultimate is way stronger. Again, I know it doesn't sound like much, but even 0.75 seconds gives your like gun characters way more time to shoot a single person. It lets your team get into position for an ultimate much better. It's just really good, and it helps you keep people down in place for longer. Then the rank 3 upgrade, plus 4% max health as damage. So it goes from 1.5 to 5.5. That's fine. It doesn't really make the ability do that much damage, but it does increase the damage a little bit. Yeah, I mean, Dynamo just does no damage. Like, I don't know if that's, like, a weird thing to anyone. It's not. I mean, he's just not that. He doesn't do that much damage. He does have a lot of knockups. He has a solid ultimate, but he does no damage. I mean, that's fine, right? He's a support. He's not supposed to deal that much damage until you consider that, you know, Doorman is a support and Paige is a support, and they do a lot of damage. Yeah. I've seen a lot of talk on Reddit and Twitter and a few YouTube videos, actually, about how Dynamo just feels like, he just feels like power crept, right? He just feels he's power crept out of the game by other sports, and like, that happens, right? It's an early access game, and that's just how MOBAs work in general. I mean, if you look at any video game, characters just get power crept, right? And that's fine. I just think that he just needs a little bit of love. They did touch him in the most recent patch. I forget what it was. I think they increased like his, I don't even know. I'm not gonna talk about it because I don't know what it is off the top of my head. But still, he just feels weird. He feels clunky, and he feels like awkward compared to the other sports in the game. Now, again, not that he's bad. He feels quite good. Not that he doesn't have his own play style, is what I was trying to say. He does feel quite good if you do like to play him, right? I like playing him. It probably is my most favorite sport to play. But he's just in an awkward state where compared to Viscus, compared to, you know, to Doorman, compared to Paige, why would you ever pick him? Like, what does he do that is better than most other sports? He has an ultimate that could be really strong, but like I said, if you're playing against real humans, they run away from you and they kill you as you try to get towards them. So you're not going to get that much value out of it. You're usually going to be able to get, you know, a good frontline ultimate on, say, like a Moan Krill. That's fine. But unless you're like a flank god, or you're the one guy that will go Majestic Leap Dynamo, I have seen that. It's really funny. You can go Majestic Leap Dynamo, jump up, do the downward dash, get a good ultimate. It's really funny. I don't recommend it, but it is something you can do. And then we talk about the build. So this is the build I recommend. It's by Ken Can. Because Dynamo is a support, right, you're going to be building pretty powerful individual items, right? You have like solid items that you can buy for lane, like Spirit Shielding or Slowing Hex in your build. And then the big ones we want to talk about are Rapid Recharge and Warp Stone. Rapid Recharge gives you plus 2 additional charges. They are 50% faster between the charges, and they get plus 20 bonus spirit power. This is amazing for Kinetic Pulse because it gives you 4 total charges, which is really a lot. And getting that plus 20 spirit power, again, it has a good scaling. It's it's times 1.67 or whatever, so this is really strong and lets you do a lot. Another thing that I want to talk about is Warpstone. Warpstone is this item that, if you've played Dota, it's similar to the item called Blink Dagger, where of course, you teleport and it gives you every character a teleport. Of course, Warpstone, though, it gives you a bullet resistance over the 6-second duration, a buff. And that's pretty useful, but as someone who comes from League of Legends, you don't really have items like this. If there were a item you could buy that gave you a blink, it would be insane. We have Flash in League of Legends, is a 5-second cooldown, is the thing. The way that Deadlock is built is that every character has access to a baseline mobility because of the stamina system. So an item like Warpstone works really well when you think of the context of, say, Dynamo, right? You can build more stamina to get closer to someone. You can get like extra stamina or Arcane Surge, so you can dash, jump towards people. Then you can use Warpstone with that increased movement speed to get closer to set up your ultimate. On his own, Dynamo, his base kit, he's a very slow and clunky and fat and waddly kind of character, right? But because of the actual mechanics of Deadlock and the items you can buy, it really does unlock what you can do with this character. That being said, you are a support, right? You're going to be building defensive items, you're going to be building utility items, buy Silence Wave, buy Knockdown, buy your point and click items. Everyone knows how it goes. And most importantly, you buy freaking Refresher. Refresher is a really funny item on Dynamo because it also refreshes all of your kinetic pulse charges. I didn't put it on the screen here, but basically it just refreshes all your cooldowns and gives you all your charges back. So Dynamo, who has a 230-second ultimate cooldown, guess what? Refresher has a 300-second cooldown, so you can realistically get 2 ultimates per fight, and then get all your kinetic pulses back, and you get to dish out a lot more crowd control than you would realistically otherwise. Do be careful though, because you are playing a support character. You're gonna have a lot of active items, because sometimes you want to buy like Rusted Barrel, or sometimes you want to buy Rescue Beam. So Refresher can't always work, but I don't know. I just wanted to talk about this build. I've been playing a lot of Dynamo lately, like I said, and this one felt the best to me. But I mean, Dynamo's a really flexible character. You can kind of build almost anything on him. Don't build Gun, but you could build Gun because he gets so much. He has that really good steroid for attack speed. Anyway, that's gonna be it for me. If you guys enjoyed, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Tell me what you think down below. I really like playing Dynamo. Feels good to play despite himself, if you get what I mean. Despite the fact that Dynamo is like seemingly held back by his own kit with like his abilities being so clunky, he still feels good. He gave like his kinetic pulse feels really good to use, and the fact that like it goes through walls, I forgot to mention that, but I did write it in there. The fact it goes through walls makes it so that you're really good at sticking onto people and getting kills for your team. I don't know, I like it a lot. If you guys enjoyed, be sure to like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.